my lovely one, welcome back to my channel. This week I have a tour of my new setup of what I call my city studio, which is a space that I share with at least there must be 14 artist rooms on my floor, which is in a local city in at least a 200-year-old factory. It's a gorgeous, big, huge space, huge building altogether. There's several like clusters of this really old, gorgeous industrial age building. And a couple of people have asked, do I still have my outdoor studio space? Yes, I do, but this is what it looks like now. I have a couple of videos on my channel sharing its transformation from like a beachy, colourful beach house type space to this dark academia type look. And I make other kinds of things in here, but I have my art armoire in here that needs to be restocked. It used to be over here, so I might take you through restocking that and show you how I make any space an art space, which is what I've done with my city studio. I can't remember how much I said when I recorded the tour, how much percentage of my art supplies are in there, but I think I way overestimated it. Truthfully, I think there's only at maximum 5% of my full amount of art supplies in there, because what I do is just put a little bit of everything in it. So if I want to watercolor, I can. If I want to make paper beads or embellishments of any kind, I can. So this won't be a tour where I take you through every drawer. It just has enough to choose whatever I want to do in it. And I might then take any extra things I want to do. If there's something a particular project I want to work on that week, I'll just take those supplies up to the city studio with me. Literally 95% of my art supplies is in my tiny studio, which you saw me in last week. Organization is the key, folks. You can make any small space an art space, I promise you. So if you want a tour of my tiny studio, I will do that for you, and I will go through the drawers and I will go through and show you all the goodies that are hidden away in there. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if you want that, and I will do that. But many of you have already seen that space. You might not have seen how nice it's looking now. Truthfully, I'm in love with the space now, and I'm in love with my city studio now. So I'll take you on a tour just generally of how I've reconfigured it and created these really nice zones for different uses for that studio. So walking in, lots of rugs on the floor because the floor is this weird, I don't know, chipboardy stuff that can get splintery. So I've got lots of rugs on the floor, and I've sectioned off the space. So the desk I've now put in the center. Apparently, even if I've got more space, I like cozy small spaces like my main studio that I have at home. But I like having everything to hand, and then some seating, and I've put this bookcase here from my art studio at home because I am redoing that one and things are chopping and changing all the time. So I've created this space with an easel, and I can wheel my little chair over here, and now I've got a space that's also set up for an easel. So starting over here, I just installed these. So I had a couple of hooks and dowels left from my washi wall in my little studio, so I decided to make a space for my stencils on the wall using little metal grip hooks I got off of Amazon, and I really like how it's turned out. I'm the sort of person that likes having my supplies out, but in my smaller studio I can't do that. So my other studio, I kind of allow things to be out, you know, my cups with all of my media in and things like that I really love. I just allow that aspect of myself to come out there. I thought, why not stick my stencils up there? And on this side I have got some art journals, and over here is acrylic, and underneath on this one is more acrylic, and then watercolor at the front. I have some comfy shoes for being in the studio, some sketches when I spray paint or something like that, and I just want some comfy shoes that I don't mind getting a bit messy. And this is just random stuff, like collagey stuff. I've got some really useful storage drawers. The top one has kind of papers mainly and some canvases. This one's mainly embellishment things. This one is scrapbooking, decorative papers basically, or vintage things or ephemera things to make things up. Here I've got a drawer of clothes for, again, painting and putting on clothes that I don't mind getting dirty. And then the last one is just like random odds, like an extra daylight light, some towels, you know, just stuff you might need but you want out of the way. On top are some books, some pins that I put on this thing that I made out of polystyrene, some of my original flowers from that tutorial I did about a dozen years ago of how to make these paper flowers, along with how to make those recycled glossy buttons as well on the inside. Yeah, and just stuff on top. This little thing has aromatherapy essential oils in it for, I've got a diffuser in here. It's an orgonite that I made, some resin stuff, another one. So these I just refigured a little bit with more mugs and cute things to hold my supplies. At my home studio, what I have done is taken all supplies out of original boxes, and it has saved so much space. And I was already kind of doing that here, so I just did it with the remaining supplies that I had. And here I would say I have about 20% of my art supplies. Not much in comparison to how big the space is. My home studio has a lot of stuff in it, given how small it is. But we've got some pencils, some charcoal pencils, some acrylic paint, pens, you know, oil pastels, pencils, markers. And down here, this is kind of like my water soluble stuff, so things that activate with water, watercolor pencils and water soluble crayons, and then some inks, some sprays and things that kind of don't live anywhere else. Then I have my thread for my sewing machine table, which I brought down here, and I have actually started sewing just a little bit because I have it now out and set up on this little table. I love it there. Alcohol markers, lots of alcohol markers, and mediums going off here. Then this is stamps and ink pads. Quite a lot in there actually, I can't lift that out with one hand. Collage, and these 3 tins have collage in it, and then just random things that you might need. A lap tray, because I do like creating on the floor, and then this has canvases, some finished, some not, most not, and some art just put up with these light clips that I quite like. And then an inspiration board, more of my flowers in there, some expression flowers that I have tutorial for on here as well as these ones. And then these are some of my art in postcards, these things. Desk has washing in the cake stand and glues and paint stuff in these ones, spatulas, paintbrushes, some pencils. My desk covered in drop paper, pastels down here in the cutesy little pots, water, pots, tools, and cute little bowl key that has majority of pens that I use more than others. I have some collage, some junk stuff, some tissue paper, different stuff in this storage down here. This little cart I just spray painted because it was a bit manky, so now it kind of ties in with these ones. Down the back, there's quite a lot of stuff in that portfolio, but the main thing that you see on top is some plastic for spray painting, and this like big ass atlas that I used as an art journal, lots of papers and stuff like that in it, a yoga mat, a bin, you know, the stuff that you need. And I just set this up today and I'm really liking it. These will probably change, you know, but this, because I've got random stuff here like a fairy and a graduation teddy bear. He's still got his gown, but I don't know where his cap or glasses went. They went years ago. But yeah, so this stuff is gonna be shifted. It's just what I had and wanted to kind of tuck out the way. But I'm excited to have this easel's kind of, it's an okay height if I've got a tall canvas to stand up. Just wear one of my carts with the acrylic on down here and I can get going, or I'll wheel my chair here. This stuff is because I like creating on the floor, so I can whip these out and just, you know, go to town with stuff on the floor, but in a comfortable way. That's like a big beanbaggy thing. These trunks have been here since I first got this space, and they just seem to have the same stuff in them that they did then. Blankets, loo roll, just random stuff in there that I might need. But this section is actually something I use for taking photo shoots for a shop I sell jewellery in and things like that, so I use this as a backdrop, and I did have other stuff here, but things chopping and changing all the time. Speaking of shops, I found out I sold my first journal online 15 years ago, so Jenny Bellie is officially 15. I'm using that marker as her birthday, my birthday. It went my Etsy shop, then my blog, then YouTube. And yeah, thank you for your support for 15 years. It was a paper bag journal. It wasn't very good, first journal I made and sold. But, you know, that's the journey sometimes. And to mark the occasion, the start of the journey that became Jenny Bellie, I'm offering my popular class, Rock Your Online Shop, for an incredible offer for 150 hours, because I thought 15 hours was a bit too stingy. So I'm giving you an offer for 150 hours on that class if you want to start your online shop. Because not many of you know this, but I actually started my first online shop in 2002. I was 18 and I had just completed a certification in aromatherapy. So to help me through university or college for you guys in America, I created a shop to sell handmade products, and it went very well. I sold everything that I made, and I thought that that's how things were, you know, you make things, you sell them without any marketing or anything like that. I think truthfully, looking back, what it was the time. It was not a saturated market. Nobody knew what eBay was. I mean, we're talking 2002. This is 22 years ago. You could say, I can say to you now what any kind of thing is online, and you probably know it. People did not know. People did not shop online. It's 2002. So I think that might have been why my products were well received, because it had no social media or anything like that. My most difficult thing back then was figuring out how to do labels, and they ended up being purple labels with butterflies on. And the most recent shop I opened was 2022, so that's a 20-year span. And I put in about maybe 3-4 months, probably 4 months work in the beginning, and it still sells every day to this day. It's a spiritual shop where I sell symbolic jewelry and things like that, tools for rooms like this, incense burners and wands and statues and whatnot. While I do want to dedicate more time to it, I haven't been able to at the moment. I have too many other passion things I want to do, such as making new YouTube videos. So it is what it is. It's not as amazing as what it could be, but it generates income without any additional effort besides the general stuff that you have to do, such as customer service, etc. So effortless does not mean no effort. And were I to build it, everything does take a lot of time, because I make sure everything is perfection, from the pictures to the description to everything. Some days it makes £5, some days it makes £500. Those days are rare, but they do happen. And I'll give you a look at the truthful look of what a side project does. Okay, so it is Monday 29th of July. We've had 3 orders at 67. Yesterday we had 5 orders at 146. This week we've had 17 orders at 369. And this month we've had 74 orders at 1187. And it's still just lunchtime, so hopefully those will go up today. Keep going. Let's go. That is net though, that is not gross, but we'll talk about all of that in the class, and pricing and pictures and descriptions and marketing and everything else in Rios. I fully believe in today's climate, anybody can open an online shop for anything that they would like to do, any passion that you have. And I'm somebody who hates technology and hates marketing. That shop has no marketing on it. I don't like social media. You can look at my JENNIBELLIE'S social media. And it has no ads or anything like that on it either. I haven't paid for anything. So, yeah, you can look at JENNIBELLIE'S social media and you can see I'm not really into social media. YouTube is the only place I really want to be, truthfully. I do try to post on Instagram though for you guys over there. I just forget. I make stuff and I don't take pictures of it. It's just, it is what it is. I'm not a social media girl. That just goes to show you, if you are a 21st century person, unlike myself, you can do anything. So that's why I'm offering Rios, or Rock Your Online Shop, I call it Rios, for £15. I don't know what that is in US dollars, but it's dirt cheap for what you are getting. I promise there is a lot of content in that class, and because I really do believe that at its full price of, I think it's £79, it is a steal. Before I did the 2022 shop, I did a training for online shops, and it was £4,000. And it was to create an alternative to Shopify type shop. So I did make another shop that was its own website as well. Yeah, and I didn't think it was very good, basically. So I didn't bother pursuing that. But I'm just showing you that £15, you know, is a cup of coffee for 2 and a cake. But you know what? I don't regret that or any of the other trainings I paid for over the years, which is a lot, because it gave me the confidence to start that shop. Even though I didn't use any of the stuff that they taught or any of the technology that they offered, the software that they offered, I decided to go a different route with it, but it gave me the confidence to start it. So sometimes it's just doing these things that puts you in the mindset to go, yes, I'm going to take that step. That is sometimes what you partake in this kind of stuff for, truthfully. You might not use all of the info, but it might give you some gumption, or it might put you in the right direction, or it might answer a few of your questions, whatever it is, that will just lead you to the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step. And then you'll be 15 years later wondering how it all happened. So I like that there's sections, you know, there's sections for painting, there's sections for shooting, there's sections for eating. This little setup here is where I have my lunch. It's got a drum in between that works quite well as a table. Underneath here there is a big printer, which I kind of bought here because it's bulky and out of the way. Behind here is one of those little IKEA fold out tables to have my lunch on. Frida pillow, you know, is needed. On my grandmother's old chair, on Sweepy Bum's rug. I think of this as Sweepy Bum's rug because I've got a picture of my dog on this rug. So this little section I really like as well. Nice views. As soon as I take the camera up, the light goes funny because obviously we're looking into the light, but I really like the bricks here and this old paint that's incredibly old. You know, this building's like 200 years old, so that and the windows was always something that I really liked. I makeshifted these curtains from IKEA on this, I don't even know what this pole is, you know, it goes through the room, but it goes precisely where I need to put some curtains because the sun just comes in here, and for the first couple of years I didn't have curtains, but I had this space and it just ruined all of my supplies. All of my paints dried up, my pens and my washes didn't work, so I actually used book rings to put those curtains up, so they're easy up, easy down, and it just helps regulate the heat and the sunlight in the space, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, I love, since I've altered where the desk goes, I really love how it's sectioned off. I really love it. Got my art space, my sewing space, my easel space, my shooting space, my eating and relaxing space, and then obviously, as I say, these can come out and the middle can turn into creativity zone. So that's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed the tour of my city studio as it is in 2024. I love the space, I really do. That's why I've kept it for like 8 or 9 years, I think it is now I've had that space. It's just got an energy to it. It's not the biggest space, and sometimes I feel that when I'm trying to do like 15 different things in it, and I do wonder about asking my landlord for a bigger space, but at the moment I don't go there enough to warrant that extra expense. I really do like the days that I do manage to get a full day in there though, and that just feels like kind of home. It sounds strange to say because, like I say, I don't get there very often, but as soon as I'm there I just feel relaxed, I feel comfortable, and I just want to create something, and that is all you can ask for from your creative space, is to feel like you've arrived and you're ready to go. Thank you for watching, and if you want an arty video from me this week, yesterday I posted the new monthly challenge video, which is all about weird mark making tricks. So if you would like to see that, come over to Journal Workshops. If you would like to rock your online shop for the current offer, come over to Journal Workshops, or you can get it from my Etsy shop as a PDF if you don't want a classroom as well. I've put it in my Etsy shop. So if you just want to download it and go, you can do that, or if you want to come into the space where there's other students and you can ask me questions and things like that, then join the classroom. Much love, everybody. I will see y'all next week, hopefully. I'm technically away next week, but hopefully I will manage to put you the YouTube's video up and scheduled before I go. Ding! Halo!